Happy to be joined by Coach Taylor with Jackson State. And Coach, apologies for the delay. We're behind schedule, but we appreciate your patience.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Yes, sir. If you could open us up with a statement, Coach, regarding your team's most recent outing at Southern.
It was a good weekend for our football team. To go on the road down in Baton Rouge. The stadium was full. You talk about the Boombox Classic. Great atmosphere down there, but it was all about getting that first conference win and, winning on the road for us. Great football game, though. I thought Coach Graves and his staff did an excellent job of getting those guys motivated coming out to play. And they came out and played well. But our football team did a good job responding. I thought we didn't play our best football in the first quarter, and we knew that they were dealing with some injuries, on the back end of their secondary, and it was opportunity we could take advantage of in that football game. And our receivers stepped up to and answered the call. Jacoby and Morgan played a great football game. I can't say enough about him, coming out in that type of atmosphere and responding. The critics have been tough on him all year about his play thus far in this season, but he responded and played well. Defense played well. Trey Holly is a special player. Let me say that. That running back at Southern. He is a special football player. He can run the ball well. He did his thing out there, but very pleased with our defense. We were able to hold them to 13 points in that football game and found a way to separate in the second half.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach TC, how are you today? Congrats on the win.
Thanks. How you doing, Mr. Cartwright?
I am doing well. Jacoby and Morgan, 337, 2 TDs, no turnovers. That was excellent. But what I want to start with you today is 13 penalties. And I know you have been talking about discipline and trying to get these penalties under control. Now, I'll admit some of the penalties were, but for some of the ones that were penalties, what is the process that you're continually undertaking with this squad to get them to be more disciplined, to not commit some of these self-inflicted penalties?
Well, we brought them in yesterday, and if you was out there yesterday, it wasn't a pretty day for them yesterday, following that win. We just got to continue to discipline. But it's been a heavy, penalized season for the league in general. And, we just got to be smart and more disciplined. That's what I told our players on yesterday. I did a cut up for them and talked about, hand placement on certain things, the jumping offside, stuff like that, just the little things like that where you leave it in the referee's hands. We can't do that. We got to be better at it. The one blessing I will say behind it, though, that whole deal is, we were a good enough team to overcome it. But, I told them down the road when you get into the month of October, early November, these things can cost you in a football game. Right now, we're able to overcome those 10 penalty games, but we got to get better. But I got to continue to just stress it with this football team. They're playing hard. They're playing extremely hard. The players are, and the coaches are coaching hard. But it's just something I just got to continue to preach hourly and day in, day out with this football team.
No problem. And just for the record, 97 total penalties across the 6 games in the
Yeah.
SWAC this week.
Yeah.
Good luck this week against my team, Alabama A&M.
All right. See you there.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon. How you doing, Perry?
Oh, you're making it a tough Monday for me. You made it a tough Monday for me, but that's all right, Coach. Yeah, look, your Tigers look great. We talked about Jacoby and Morgan's play. Let's talk about Ahmad Miller and his game as a receiver.
Yeah. You talking about the running back, Ahmad? Or are you just
Yeah,
saying?
the running back. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Ahmad, he's a bell cow back there. We're rolling about 3, 4 guys, but he's leading the charge in that run game. If you look at this young man, he has great size, great balance. I think one of the more elite backs in FCS, but he still has a lot of football in front of him. Big time speed, and when we need those tough yards, and he goes out there and gets it done. He's been injury plagued since he got here, but now he's healthy. You can see what a healthy Ahmad Miller brings to this JSU program and what he means to this JSU program. And everybody know when you play JSU, we're gonna start by running the football. And he leads the charge on that with those old linemen up front. And I can't say enough about him in the season he having right now. The thing that I like about him, though, is him, sharing the time with Denario Davenport, Travis Terrell, all those other backs, and he just, take advantage of the reps that he's getting. He's a guy that's more than capable to carry the ball 20 plus times, but he goes out there and get those 10, 11 carries, and, he can get you those tough 100-yard games.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this upcoming week. Your squad's looking really good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach TC, how you doing this afternoon?
What's up, Doc? How you? I'm
I'm
good.
doing good. I'm doing good. Coming into the game, going into this weekend's game against Alabama A&M, the defense has held opponents scoreless in the second half, other than the USM game. We have our problems as far as when it comes to A&M in the second half of games in this challenge. What are some things you want to try to improve for the defense going into this game where we won't see those mishaps, where it'd be a 45-38 turnaround game like that?
That's an awesome question. We talked about this with the staff yesterday, and this particular game. Like you said, we were able to separate, but they clawed their way back in those previous two games. So I told the staff, let's kill a net with a sledgehammer this year if we have that opportunity. We know they're a well-coached football team. Coach Shade is a great football coach. He's done some great things over at Miles, and he's bringing that over to Alabama A&M. But we got to continue to make adjustments throughout the football game, Doc. That's what I'm basically saying. We can't get up 21 points if we're fortunate enough and just relax as a program. We got to continue to try to separate. I thought they did a pretty good job of that on this past weekend. Once we started separating, finding ways to keep them out of the end zone. Cam Silas came up with a great interception in that game that really turned the entire game around, and that's what we're looking for this weekend. Let's just not go to sleep in the football game once we get a lead.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Question goes to Mona Stapleton.
Good afternoon, Coach TC Taylor. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Last time we spoke, I asked you about how the team is going to click on all cylinders. And I feel like outside of the penalties and some of the special team issues that Jackson State was able to play a complete game. I wanted to ask you specifically about your kicker, Gerardo Baeza, because he isn't usually one to miss field goals. Is he okay physically after that running into the kicker and also those high snaps from the center?
Yes, definitely. He is fine. That's another good question there. It's just a deal where he has to respond in these big time games, and it's no different. Like I challenged Jacoby and Morgan, I challenge him the same way. You're a preseason all conference guy, so you need to go. You have to go out there and live up to that expectation. And he understands those pressures and what he means to this football team. Same with our lone snapper, Hunter. He knows if he's not snapping the ball back there correctly, we don't get the ball placed right, the right spot. Gerardo, G Baby can't make those kicks, but I challenge G Baby, and he understands that and what he means to this team. We expect better of him, and I know he'll going forward. We'll get better play out of him.
Thank you, Coach TC, and good luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate
Time
it.
for two more questions. First one goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good morning, Coach. This is Marvin Nichols from MTMV Sports. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Look, you had a big play passing attack. You had three different receivers that topped 90 receiving yards, highlighted by an 82-yard touchdown from Nate Rimbert and a 51-yard score from Janalen Dupree. What does it say about your quarterback receiver chemistry, and what does that say about your quarterback receiver chemistry and the depth of your passing game to produce that many explosive plays?
It's real simple for me. Like I told Jacoby when I talked to him yesterday, it's about time. you know, it's about time. The way we run the ball, that's so important to our offense. Let me say that, when you have these, that's why we recruited all these weapons on the perimeter, because we want to run the ball. So, you got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive staff. Are you going to bring those safeties down in the box? Are you going to keep two high safeties on top? But we've been waiting all year on this. I think Jared Lockhart came out and showed if you last weekend against the Tuskegee program, that freshman quarterback we have here, he threw the ball around well, and these receivers been ready for it. They just been waiting on the opportunity, and we challenged Jacoby, and coming off that injury in the Tuskegee game, you got to come out and play well this week. We need you to play well this week. Not only this week, this year. You got the weapons around you. You just have to distribute the football and make the right decisions. But if we're continuing to throw the ball the way we're throwing it and running the way we're able to run the football, we're going to be an explosive offense going forward.
Absolutely. Well, you all are currently the king of the SWAC, and you certainly are playing like it. So good luck to you next week.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Last question goes to Troy White.
Good morning, Coach. How you feeling today?
I'm good. Troy, how are you?
I'm doing well. The last time we talked, I asked you about young players.
Yes.
One of the players you did not tell me about was Travis Terrell. And in your running game, he seems to be a great spell back. Tell me about his development and what you look for from him going forward.
Just to continue to get better each and every day. You know, Travis, if you know Travis Terrell, he's a young man that we brought in last year out of Georgia that really, he wants it. You know, that's why he's a preseason all-conference performer as a kick returner. Every time he touched the ball, you know, last year as a kick returner, I mean, it was a touchdown or explosive play. Even the opportunities he had when he was sharing time with Herb Mulligan, you know, on some of those runs. But he's a guy that wants it. He works his butt off. I'm gonna say that about him. But still a young player, you know, and that you have to kind of keep him grounded at times because, you know, he gets to wanting it so much. You know, and I'm not saying he's a selfish player, but you know that passion that he shows for the game. And I tell him, you got to keep that bottle up. And there's still a lot left in him. You know, people hadn't been kicking to him this year. You know, and I wouldn't either if I'm on that other sideline as well. But we just try to, you know, create as many ways of getting him the football, you know, in our offensive scheme, you know, whether it's on special teams or whatever. But he's a phenomenal talent. You know, we're blessed to have him here, part of Jackson State, and want to keep him here going forward.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck going forward. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all be
Thank
safe.
you.